Good morning. Welcome to the Backlist Readathon vlog. Today is Monday. It's bright and early. I'm exhausted. I had, a wild night last night. Ow. No, I didn't. It was just the time change. So it's technically 5:30 but feels like 4:30. Yay. Robbie and Liam went on a little snowboarding trip and they're ditching school and work today while I have to go to work like a chump. It's like a launch day at work. So new things are being released. So I must be there. Really wish I'd washed my hair this weekend. But what can you do? I have a lot of things I want to read this week. I'll talk to you more after work. But here's a stack of things that I might get to. I'm switching up my TBR from what I said in my monthly TBR a little bit. Some things have stayed, some things have left.
Last week I was on the BooksandLala podcast as a guest and I got recommended a couple books. So I have Gwendy's Button Box and Fly on the Wall that I'd like to get to. And then for my original TBR I have Johnny Appleseed, The Half-Life of Molly Pierce, Some Places More Than Others, Between the World and Me, The Vegetarian. Oh, I just read this, but I'm going to see the movie, and if the movie isn't great, I might just include reading clips of reading this in this video, because I'm going to see the movie in this video.
The first thing I want to start with is The Half-Life of Molly Pierce by Katrina Leno, because I love Katrina Leno, and this is her first book. Oh my god. Today is not my day. Hi, it's 4 p.m. Hours later than normal, because my car wouldn't start this morning, so I had to get somebody to drive me to work, and then I got a different coworker to drive me home, and then I left my phone in her car, and now I have to tell my husband to stop by and get my phone, but I have no way of contacting him. He's not answering me on Facebook. Should I try Instagram message? I also didn't have him home this morning to make my smoothie and my lunch. I miss him. And he took my Jeep with him. And he's snowboarding. I'm very happy for him, but my day has been sad. Although at least I don't have a phone to distract myself from reading, and I can probably get some good pages in. Okay, all is right in the world again, because I opened up my book and it's like embossed, which is just beautiful. It makes me happy. Also, I don't know if I just forgot or if I didn't know this was signed, but I feel joy again. Okay, besides the fact that the love interest's name seems to be Sayer, like S-A-Y-E-R, I'm kind of obsessed with this. Okay, I did it. I finished The Half-Life of Molly Pierce. I don't know where the dust jacket is. This was interesting. Going back and reading an author that you have read a lot of, I feel like you know their writing style really well. It's interesting getting to go back and read their debut. I don't get the opportunity to do that a lot. I feel like I'm at the beginning of someone's writing career a lot of the time. So this is interesting because I can see how this book informed her future writing. This is really kind of different. It's in the same vein as like real life, but not really, but more in that like questionable way. And then her later books get more just like magical, unexplained. I was hoping this one wasn't going to explain things the way it explained things, but it did. The first 3/4 of this I loved so desperately. Love the characters, love the storyline, and then like the big, explanation reveal of this girl and why she can only remember half her life. A little tropey, could be a little questionable. I don't know. It's hard to talk about any representation when, it's not you and your experience. So I don't know if this could be seen as good representation or harmful or any of that stuff. I still liked it quite a bit, and I'm giving it, I want to give it 4 stars because I really like her writing. It just does something for me. So that's it on the first day of the Backlist Readathon. I'm really excited. I read a whole book, and the longest book, I don't know how long Vegetarian is. I'm thinking I'm gonna read that tomorrow. One of the longest books at the beginning, which is always a smart thing to do, so I'm glad that I was smart. And I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. You can't see me. I'm gonna read the Vegetarian today, and I'm driving my family everywhere because the car doesn't start. I look evil in this lighting. I guess of all the days for our vehicle to break down, like today's the best scenario because I don't have to rush home and pick up Liam because he is on a snowboard trip. So I can come pick up Robbie, but I have to wait for him for like an hour, which is perfect because my Books Unbound episode that I got to be a guest on just went up. So I'm gonna listen to myself and Ariel and Raylene just because I want to hear it. I listen to it every Tuesday, like this is part of my routine, so it just happens to be that I'm on this episode.
It's me, it's Ariel, and me, Raylene. But we also have a special guest. It's Kayla from Books Unbound from Books Unbound fame, your favorite. Kayla from BooksandLala is here. Kayla, please say hi.
Hi.
Oh, beautiful. What a dulcet tone.
I did bring the Vegetarian with me, so while I'm sitting here waiting, maybe I should read a little. Hi, I have immediate feelings. This book is written from the perspective of the husband, because that's not what I expected. All right, it's date night, it's movie night. My husband is about to be here. He has no idea what he's getting himself into. Do you know the movie we're seeing?
The Invisible Man.
And what's it about?
An invisible man.
Do you actually know anything?
No.
Perfect.
All I saw was the trailer was there was like a scared blonde lady, and like she looked down and threw paint, and you see his face full of paint and his footsteps. Welcome to Post
Robbie and Kayla's movie review. Not so good.
That was a bad movie. It was just bad.
If I didn't want to see that for this video, I might have left. That was not good.
There was nothing intelligent about the movie. Nothing intelligent. I was waiting for a really smart twist, because that's everything Invisible Man. Always a smart twist or a reason why it happened.
Like, we wanted to be a superhero movie a little.
I mean, for how strong a man in a black suit is.
Yeah, apparently putting on a suit that makes you invisible also gives you not superhuman strength, but like that bitch was strong.
I mean,
he was knocking people out.
He one hit 3 cops. One hit, consecutively 3 cops, and then a guy goes to taser him. He just takes it, he's like, nah, goes to your face.
It was all very strange, and I will say it's nothing like the book. Besides the fact that it's about an invisible man who invented the ability to be invisible, it's not the book. So
yeah,
at least there's that. I give it
2
out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Oh, out of 5?
Are you out of 10?
I was out of 10.
Oh man. Okay, I'm way too tired to read. I don't know why I thought that I could go to work, do all my errands, go to a movie, film a video, and read today. So hopefully I'll have some time tomorrow to finish the Vegetarian. I really don't know. I'm too tired to even think right now. So we'll see you in the morning. Allow me to apologize for not vlogging yesterday and not vlogging today until now. And now I'm not reading either because we're apparently playing Jenga, my favorite game.
Stop!
I love playing games together.
Here you go.
I can't grab.
This is gonna fall so fast.
I know. I almost took You're not taking the one that I...
Are you?
Playing a new game. I'm talking to you.
Me?
Yeah.
I already know that.
It's called Spiral Staircase of Death.
No, but then you're not gonna be able to pull them out. It doesn't work like that.
Physics is nothing when you're magic. Magic.
It's not.
It's magic. It rotates as you play.
We're breaking all the rules. Grab that.
How are we breaking all the rules?
There's no rules when there's magic involved, Kayla.
I feel like this book is never gonna end, and I hate it.
So now I'm tasked with explaining The Vegetarian and why I didn't like it. First of all, I'm very upset. This took me 3 days to read because I'm behind now. But this is about a woman who slowly starves herself. But it's not from her perspective, which I didn't know. So when people talk about how this is a weird book, I think I was expecting something a little bit different. It's just more weird in like the perspectives chosen and the way that everyone was describing this woman. I can see like what it was doing. I actually really understand why it won prizes and why it's so acclaimed. I think there's a ton of commentary, but not heavy-handed commentary, because she doesn't actually discuss anything on the patriarchy and feminism and the expectations of women in general, but I think especially in Korea where this is set, ways that women are supposed to act and ways that she becomes more independent and nobody will accept that and people are horrible to her. Wow, this is like a intense book in regards to how people speak to each other. There's like abuse, so it's an intense read, but then the vibe is just like a little off kilter because we're following different people and everyone's different perspective on her and how they're taking advantage of her and how they just want her to change and start eating meat and then just eating because she goes through a journey with eating. 2 stars, even though I can respect and recognize its positive merits. I did not enjoy physically reading that book, and I'm so glad it's over. All right, no one talk to me for the next like 8 hours because I'm gonna try to read 3 books today. I'm losing my nails. I'm sad about it. And it's snowing, like a lot, which is strange. I feel like this vlog's a little bit boring. I have to make dinner. And it's not gonna get any more exciting because it's snowing, but hockey season and snowboard season are over for us. So I was thinking about going out like on a walk or a hike or some interesting things to do with you, but no. Also, Liam's not feeling well. He has a cold. So this is it. We're just hanging out. This is your view for the next 3 days. It's been your view for 5 days now. I finished my first book of the day, Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead. I think I give this 4 stars. Really super good, but not like a new favorite. Wow, I look tired. And I'm gonna stay up all night reading. I made the mistake of skimming through some reviews when I finished this, just to see what other people thought. And in general, like, I feel like this has a good average rating, but for some reason, the negative reviews were at the top of the list, and I was getting angry. Some people were saying this was too graphic, which is strange because, you know, going in, you're reading about Johnny, who's a sex worker. Also, a lot of people were saying, like, this book wasn't meant for me, or like I am not the target audience of this book. And while I'm sure I've said something along those lines even myself in the past, just that I'm not the target audience, like, a book isn't like only for a certain group of people? Like, do you also think that books by white people should only be read by white people? I don't know. Some people were saying this is too stream of consciousness, which is one that I understand. But I love so much. I love just chatting throughout a book. Just like, what's another word for stream of consciousness? I don't know. Just talking about his experience as a sex worker, as someone who is involved in like cyber activities, as someone who is two-spirit and their experience with that, their experience with their grandma or Kokum. That relationship was so beautiful. It's hard to talk about the exact plot because we're following just a couple days of Johnny's life, and he's just like experiencing lots of different things, hanging out with different people, talking to different people. It's sad and it's moving. The relationships are wonderful and awful. Like, he's going through the motions of preparing to return home and learning how to put together the pieces of his life. That's it. It's late and I need to move on to another book. I went to download the audiobook of Gwendy's Button Box because I always like to have an audiobook on hand, fly through a book. And then I searched it and it's only like 2 hours long. So I'm just going to read it instead. I do recall Raylene saying in the podcast, "Oh, this is a very big font." I remember her saying there are pictures. There are pictures. And a lot of pages are only half full. So while this is 170 pages, which is short already, I think I can get through this pretty quickly. Good morning. No one is feeling well. I'm trying not to scrap this whole vlog. I did finish Gwendy's Button Box last night and I loved it. 5 out of 5. I love Stephen King and his short things, especially revolving around Castle Rock. This is really the perfect recommendation from Raylene because it's short and weird, and she's looking for something that's like a Black Mirror episode. She was just asking for that as a podcast recommendation thing, and this perfectly describes that. It's this weird box with buttons on it that somebody gives this young girl, and she's told each button does a different thing, and she has to be very careful and make the right decisions with the box. Obviously, I think this book has a lot in common with some of his other books. If Stephen King wrote YA, I feel like people would constantly be talking shit about how he recycles the same idea over and over again. For some reason with like adult authors, they don't really get the same criticism, which is interesting. This obviously was co-written by Richard Chismar. I know that name, but I've never read another thing from him. And I definitely couldn't tell like which portions were written by him or how that all worked, which I guess is a good thing because it means their voices blended together well and their writing complemented each other, etc. Now today is Saturday and we're not going anywhere. We already got groceries and breakfast and we're just chilling at home. So no interesting footage, but hopefully a good amount of reading. I'm going to start with Flight of the Hummingbird because it's really short, and then depending on the tone of this, I'll go to like the nonfiction intense thing, or I'll want to go to the weird magic contemporary teen thing. I have a feeling these two are going to happen today, so I'll let you know.
Yep, that's it. Can you lift it up, up, up?
I forgot it snowed last night It's -3. Okay, I finished Flight of the Hummingbird, and it was interesting. It was basically just talking about this Aboriginal story about the flight of the hummingbird, and then it was talking about like why that story is important, and then the Dalai Lama shared some thoughts on why we need to care for the environment. It was maybe a little basic, but it was fine. Why does the car sound weird? Oh my god, we may have made an error and thought that it was spring. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna fall.
I know.
We brought Liam's bike. Look at my face. Oh my god.
Look how slippery this is.
Think we'll ever find Liam again?
No.
I forgot there's stairs. Way to go. We're home. I'm back in my blankie, and I'm gonna read Fly on the Wall. Page 1. What's on my nose? I just made enchiladas and there's sauce on my nose. So, the very first page says, Life as an Artificial Redhead. So, this is my memoir. I'm done with Fly on the Wall. This is interesting. I think it's pretty indicative of the mid-2000s. I wasn't reading this type of stuff when I was in high school, which is when this came out. But it did remind me of like the shows, you know, late 90s, 2000s, like That's So Raven or Alex Mack, where like these teenage girls get in these wacky scenarios that are a little like weirdly magical. So she turns into a fly in this book, and it really turns out to be something unexpected because she is kind of just like talking about boys and having crushes on boys and wondering about boys, and she wishes she could be a fly on the wall to see what boys talk about when she's not around. And then it turns into her witnessing some like discriminatory homophobic events, and it turns into a whole commentary on that. I was gonna say the word. I'm very uncomfortable with the F word, not the fuck word, the other F word. But it was used, I would say 300 times in this book. A little jarring. I really liked the inspiration of Kafka in Metamorphosis. They're reading it in class, and then she, you know, has her own experience with turning into a bug. And it was, you know, pretty much what I expected. I don't know how to rate this because though it is YA, it's not the type of YA that I read or is like currently being published. So it's just kind of hard to discuss. I guess it would be a 3, but that's like current day. And I want to appreciate this and what it did in its time, I'm sure. So, all I care about is I'm back on track. One more book, one more day of the readathon. Hooray. Okay, it's Sunday. It's late in the day. I don't know what's happening with my content recently, but for some reason videos, I used to be able to film like 3 in a day, but for some reason videos take me like an entire day to do now. Like planning them, filming them, editing and posting them, I do all in one day now. And I need to like reorganize that because like I feel like my entire day not has been wasted, but it's been so focused on just this one thing. And I could have done so many other things. And I still need to read an entire book. I want to read an entire book. So that's all I had to say. I'll let you know when I read something. Okay, where did I leave off? Is it just this one I need to tell you about? Yes, okay. I'm filming a couple other things while filming this, and now it's completely throwing me off. So, Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. It was great. I gave it 5 stars. It's this letter that he wrote to his young son just about his experiences as a Black person in America, and also just like the history of Black people in America. how people are treated, how people have been treated in the past, kind of ideas for the future. It was just presenting a lot of like the struggle. And I was just reading through some reviews, and a lot of people were like, so stupid. They were like, this book was really complainy. Why didn't he offer any solutions? And like, I can't. I'm sorry. This is not a funny book. This is a very serious, hard-hitting, fucking intense book that talks about incarceration and police brutality and really rough shit. And he talks about it from his perspective, and also like seeing what happens to other people in his life and on the news, and why community is so important, the Black community, and how families and relationships are different due to the Black experience. And I think it was meant as like kind of an inspirational thing for his son, but also just sharing his knowledge and why things are the way they are, and why he raised him the way he raised him. And I just thought it was great, like literally perfect, just for how short it was and for the stream of conscious style of it. I think it handled everything, it said everything perfectly in a very understandable way. I listened to the audiobook for a bit of it too. Narrated by the author, highly recommend. And that's it. I'm so tired, and I'm very impressed that I read 7 books in 7 days. The Hummingbird book I left in the car from yesterday, which I'm a little sad about because I'm gonna have to take a thumbnail tomorrow. That's the biggest struggle of my life. Oh my. So to recap, do we need a recap? I don't know. This vlog, I'm filming so many things at once that like I really don't remember what's happened here. 4 stars. Don't recommend to everybody. 2 stars. Recommend because clearly other people get it, even if I didn't. Fly on the Wall. 3 stars. Unless we've time traveled and it's currently 2003, like I don't recommend it to anybody. It's not bad. It's just there's so many better books. Wendy's Button Box, 5 stars. Mediocrely recommend, just because I know that style is not everybody's cup of tea. But if you like weird short things, like why not? Johnny Appleseed, 4 stars. Definitely recommend. Just in general, because people don't pick up Aboriginal, Indigenous, Native books as much as they should. So any chance to promote that, please. I was gonna do this video once where I went through like the least reviewed books on my shelves that I've read, and talking about like why I don't think people are reading them. And every single one of them, like the top 10, were by Native authors. So why? I don't know. And then Between the World and Me, 5 stars. Highly, highly recommend. Oh, and then the Hummingbird book. I don't know how to rate that. I don't know if I recommend it. I can't imagine spending more than a couple dollars on it at the thrift store, which is what I did. So if you see it in the wild, do it. Though it is, again, an Aboriginal author. So spend as much money as you can, I guess. Support authors. That's the takeaway. And thanks for sticking with me for this vlog. I'm not going to complain about how boring it was. We're social distancing, and I'm really good at it. Bye.